Hi, I'm Chris and we are JCD. In this week's episode, I've got an important day at the Ritz Hotel. We investigate a flooded basement and how we can stop that happening again. And we finally get to build our dream podcast studio. Let's roll the footage. Welcome back guys, Monday morning, and we have a slightly different setting than our usual Monday morning. We're not out with any of the teams today, we're not on the drainage, we are up in the city of London. I've got a morning off this morning. I am at the Ritz Hotel in City, Green Park. It was a Christmas present for me and the wife, so we got that booked in because our youngest daughter is at nursery all day today. So I'm here all morning. Time is 11 o'clock. Had a couple of calls while I've been here for some stuff we've got to do this afternoon and book in for tomorrow morning. I've got to go back to one of the jobs that we were at last week at Busy Sports Centre, where they had the pump set and the blocked ACO drains. I've got to go meet the customer there at 4 o'clock this evening just to discuss a solution, because we don't want that dirty water going into the pool. So London this morning, and then we're back to the usual proceedings this afternoon. So let's have a nice cup of tea and some cake, and then we'll get back to business. So we are now back in sunny Kent. Got back about 2 o'clock. I went and met a customer of ours down at a job at a sports centre you see me at last week, back end of last week, Friday as well. So I'm back down there tomorrow. I've had the okay to clear the drain. I just wanted to make sure that it was okay to discharge into this particular pump, because there was a guy down there and he was adamant that this pump was for the pool water only, which didn't really make sense on the day because the ACO drains I can clearly see discharge into this particular point. So I just wanted to make sure that that was okay with the customer before going to put contaminated water in there and then messing up the whole pool, or something else. So sometimes it's better to ask the question and be sure than do it on the assumption and make what could potentially be a very expensive mistake. We're back down there tomorrow. We'll get that one sorted, and we've got a few other drainage bits and pieces tomorrow. So yeah, a bit of a mixed day today. Nice and relaxed this morning. Pre-booked in, spent the morning with the wife, which is always nice. Although the phone was a little bit busy. Difficult sometimes. You try and do these things in the week because obviously you don't want to burden anyone, or ask them, can you have the children or whatever it may be. So you try and do it in the week so that everyone else can have the weekend off. But then you're at work. I'm still at work, so the phone's going. It was a bit of a rough morning this morning as well, with some varying different phone calls for different jobs. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed day, and sometimes it's hard when you're away or you're meant to be doing something that's outside of work to give it your focus. Even on a Saturday and things like that, it's about being present, isn't it sometimes, and something we need to get a little bit better at. Interesting tender coming up soon. I've got a walk around next week. I've got a couple of tenders at the moment. We've lost a couple of contracts lately, only small ones, but that's sort of playing on the back of my mind. You're always going to have, in especially an industry like cleaning, you're going to have the odd contract that falls out the bucket at the bottom of the bucket. I always give the analogy of it's like a big bucket. It's got some holes at the bottom, and you're always going to have some spillage out at the bottom, so you've got to make sure you're filling it in at the top all the time with new leads, new contracts. So we've had a couple of contracts that have decided, two have taken them in-house, which is it's not as bad as losing out to another cleaning contractor. Another one we have lost through price. Again, it still hurts sometimes, but not as much as losing it through poor service or whatever it may be. I've got a few tenders going on. They're big tenders as well, with some recognisable names, but they're just so slow to turn around. I've got a hotel brand that we're working with at the moment. We've got another job that we're looking at down on near the coast, and then we're still working with this. We've got a portfolio of in the hospitality sector that we're looking at national for, and we also got, what have I missed? We've got one more. We've got another well-known brand that we're working with, but they just take so long to come to fruition. So there's plenty in the pipeline. Not particularly worried at the moment, but it's never nice to lose contracts, and obviously with that, members of staff. So it's got me, just thinking about how we could just maybe do things a little bit better here and there, which give me some food for thought. So yeah, an interesting day. Not much going on today in terms of that. The old project stuff's a bit quiet, hasn't really picked back up. We've had a few bits and pieces. We've got a big refurb to do in a couple of weeks. I might try and get down and do a standalone video for that. That's in the city, and so a few bits going on. But I'm sure it'll all pick up pace soon and we'll be back to full swing. The drainage is still going full steam ahead. I'm still having a nightmare with Peugeot, so it's been one of those days. Apparently I see on social today it's Blue Monday, and that is ringing true today. But tomorrow is a new day, so I'm going to work out, because I'm trying to keep on top of my fitness regime. I'm in my garage now. I'm going to work out and push some weights about, then I'm going to carry on with some pricing, and then I will catch up with you guys tomorrow where we are back out and about on the tools, and there's plenty going on. I'll catch you guys in the morning. Oh yay! It's Tuesday. Started the day already. It's about 11 now, I think. I went to the sports centre that I was at Friday, and that I popped to yesterday afternoon to do the work. That drain we were looking at, that doesn't go nowhere. It's dead. What we done is we got in the pit that was there to see if we could see where it come by camera in here, and I couldn't logically see where that joined. So I went back round, managed to find get an extension lead, took all the water out, and as I cameraed down, Adam put a picture on the screen here. As I cameraed down, it's just solid concrete, so that doesn't actually go anywhere. Apparently the boilers that were there before, the ones that are in there now, they were non-condensing boilers, so they didn't have to have an overflow pipe for the condensation in the boiler. So a bit of a design fault there. So we reported it to the customer. And yeah, we'll see what happens, but I don't think it's anything that we're going to be able to resolve without digging it up. Another job now, local to where I live actually. Colleague from LinkedIn called me, Richard. Shout out to Richard at Clean. His elderly neighbour had a blocked drain. Come down last night, got it resolved, but I didn't have a van with me, so I said to him I would come back down and just chuck a camera down it today, because I still feel there's something not right with the drain. You just get to know it when you're playing around with these drains all the time. So I've just got here, and then I've got a couple of jobs to go and do over in Canterbury. One is a shower tray that keeps blocking up. The other is to look at possibly installing a pump set in a basement that keeps flooding, because the local authority are not maintaining the storm drains. So yeah. Let's get the camera box out, we're going to have a look at this one, and then we'll head down to Canterbury. Let's go. So this particular drain runs from an old lady's property next door and just runs in a straight line to this one. But I just wasn't happy with how it was yesterday, the flow of it. So say I've come back here today. It doesn't look like there's any obstruction. But I'm just going to check the camera comes all the way through. And it just might be the case is the drain is flat. Yeah. We'll just keep pushing it through, take this lid up the other side. Leave you guys there for a minute. Yeah, the camera's in that manhole. So the camera's all the way through. There's no obstruction, so as I suspected, there's got to be a flat in it somewhere. So the fall's not that good, so it's holding water. So what I'll do, I'll pull the camera back just to double check. Hopefully that'll give us a better view. And then yeah, I'll let Richard know. That one's, it's definitely got a flat in it. It's definitely, and they've had loads of works done here recently. That drain's got a belly in it. It's not got a decent enough fall. So there's lots of water just sitting in that line. You put tissue down there, it sits in there, and you get blockages behind it. So I'll let Richard know, and he can let the two tenants know here. I think he was just helping them out, which is very nice of him. So yeah, I'll update him. So yeah, nice quick one. Let's go put the camera back and we'll go and head down to Canterbury for these next 2 jobs. So we've just arrived at our next job in Canterbury. This is a blocked shower tray. Usually a pretty quick fix in 9 out of 10 instances. Let's hope that's one of them 9 out of 10. So I'm going to get the wet pickup out, see if I can suck any debris out that's in there and get these guys flowing again. Let's get our stuff out. Just knocked on the door, tenant's not in unfortunately, called all 3 of them, no one's answering. So what I'll do, I've got another job that's literally 10 minutes around the corner. So I'm going to ring the managing agent and ask them if they can try and contact the tenant and tell them that I'll be back in about 15-20 minutes. And hopefully someone's in and we can get that one done. Oh, who's this? This might be one of them. Let's have a look. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Greywater.
Oh, hello.
Hello, mate. Yes. Are you at 44?
Yeah, Laura's there, but I can make my way back now.
How long will you be? You reckon, mate?
Literally, like 10-15 minutes.
Okay, mate. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to another job that I just got round the corner. It's only 10 minutes away, so don't rush yourself. And then I'll meet you back here in about 20 minutes. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. Thanks, my friend. See you in a minute. Bye. Hey, cool. So that works out nice. So I'm going to go around the corner. I'm going to have a look at this job that I've got to look at, and then we'll come back and unblock this. What was it? Shower. It's a shower. Let's go. This particular job, water is coming up, going into the basement from the road. So they've asked us to come and have a look and give them some solutions. Usually in this situation, you'd put a sump pump in there, so if any water gets in the basement, it pumps it back out to the main sewers. So yeah, so I just got here, let me have a look and then we'll see what we can do from there. Must be a lot of water. Is it only when it rains? What's it like in the summer? Dry?
It's on the dry, it's fine. It's only when it rains.
Fuck's sake, that's...
I mean, the first time it happened, it was severe rain. It was coming down the driveway. I had to open the gate to block it down
Yeah.
to relieve the pressure.
What I'd recommend in a situation like this is that they dig out a bit of the concrete floor and you put a pump in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Alright, mate. Alright, like I say, I was just passing today just to have a look. I'll make some recommendations. They'll have 2 options. They'll either investigate where the water's coming from and try and do it there, or they're going to have to install a pump set down there just for in the event it does flood, like this. At least then it'll go into, you'll put an ACO drain through the middle into the pit. It'll all go in, drain and pump it back out.
Yeah. I think he wants us to renew for next year, and I'm saying to him, I don't know what.
So this particular job, I've just been down into the basement and had a look. There's water. They've got water ingress. It's coming from, spin you guys around, from along here. This is the wall that I was touching downstairs. I mean, short of doing some major investigation works here to find out where the leak's coming from, the next best option is to put a pump down there. So that when it does rain or water does get in, but that's not eradicating the problem, is it? That's just a temporary fix. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of storm drains here. There's some there, and there's also some just over there. But you know, you're reliant on the council maintaining them, which is few and far between, unfortunately. So we'll put a couple of recommendations in on that one and see what the customer says. So let's head back, see if we can unblock that shower if the tenant's home. Another short drive, it's only about 7 minutes, which is nice. So yeah, let's go. And we are now back at the blocked shower. I'm just going to get the wet pickup, and hopefully this time the tenant's in and we can get this one done. And then I've got to shoot back to the job I was at this morning because the customer wants to meet me there and just have a talk through of what we found there this morning. So I'll do this and then we're going to run back to Medway Park, which is good because I can show you guys what work we did and show you what I'm in. So let's get going. Done. Relatively easy. Needed plunging away really. I wet backed it out as well just to try and get some of the debris out in there. It's like a 2-inch feed there. Probably needs to be a bit bigger really because the water's going, but it's just not getting through the outlet quick enough. I've been to that job before. Actually, I remember the guy. Really nice young guy, student in the local area because we are down in Canterbury, which is a student town. So that one's done. I'm going to head back up the A2 now and head to the sports centre. I'm going to meet our customer there and we're going to have a look around. I'll put the camera down there and show him what we found this morning. Back up the A2. Let's go. So we went back to Medway Park, met the customer there and the end customer, cameraed all the lines, just showed them the lie of the land and they're going to work out another way around it. I think the end client who owns the building just wanted to see what was going on, which is understandable, which is fine. They'll be chargeable visit, so it makes no odds to me. So took the camera down there, showed them around, they were happy. So I've got a couple of jobs booked in tomorrow. I was hoping to tie up with Adam tomorrow, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to tie up with Adam Thursday. We're waiting for a piece of kit that we need to do our podcast. And then once that piece of kit here, we can actually start putting down some episodes because I believe there's a record limit on the camera. So this piece of kit will enable us to be able to record longer format footage. So that's what that's for, in one go without stopping, starting and things like that. So once we get that, I'm going to put down the first couple of podcast episodes. I'm hoping to do that on Thursday with Adam, and then Friday I've got some other bits and pieces for drainage. So yeah, an interesting day, mixed day, and we just got back in. It's 5 o'clock now, so yeah, called out a day. Thanks for checking in. I'll see you guys in the morning. What is happening, guys? Wednesday morning, I am down in Ramsgate. Groundwork customer we work for, and the main developer. There's a really nice guy, the guy I work for here, Chris. He's a top guy, always polite, you know, understanding. Customer moved into a new build house last year. They were having some drainage issues, or they believe they're having some drainage issues. So I've cameraed all the lines there. There were 4. They're all clear. The underground drainage is all clear. So it's not Chris's problem because they're a groundwork company. They've actually taken over this site, adopted it. So I believe the previous contractor actually went bust. So it's not nothing he's liable for, but they were just in case there was something wrong that was previously installed. But they're all clear. The fall's not the best, but no blockages. So I've checked all the ladies' drainage inside, and she seems to have 1.25 inch pipes, which are quite thin. I think they're regulation. I'm not a plumber. I think that's okay. 1.25 inch. But usually I'm pretty sure they're 1.5 inches, 2 inches, you know, under sink pipes, which probably doesn't help with the flow of water. I mean, there's 4 bathrooms there. It's a big house, 4 bathrooms. They've got a utility room with dishwashers, and apparently at evening when the showers are in use, the sinks, and everyone's, you know, doing their thing. I think they've got a couple of teenage children. Everyone's showering, using the dishwasher, the washing machine's going. I think they're getting some gurgling, which I believe is just down to volume. So that's that one. I have got a customer now on the way home that is a cleaning customer. They just wanted to have a catch up with me, so I'm going to pop in there on my way back, and then I've got one more drainage job to do, and that will wrap up today. I'm trying to keep tomorrow clear so I can catch up with Adam. We need to go to IKEA to get some stuff for our podcast set, and then I want to put down our first episode, plus I've got to visit some contracts. So yeah, it's all go. Right, let's go head back up the A2 to Whitstable and drop in and see our customer, make sure everything's going okay there. So I have just finished with my customer. in Whitstable. Nice to catch up with him. I see him before. I do catch up with him quite regularly, probably 4 times a year. I personally go and catch up with him, Don and the other team. The rest of the gang, they catch up with him more regularly, and they were always obviously on the end of the phone. We changed cleaner here just before Christmas. We had a guy that had been with us for some time here. To be honest with you, he got a little bit comfortable. He was quite friendly with all the people there. He was started to have days off and things like that, and you know, he was sick, and then people here would see him in the pub. And yeah, so we've got a new lady there, Sally, who seems to be getting on very well. The place is clean. Had a wander around with a customer while I was there, but we did have some discussions about some new innovations that we've got coming in, and how we can make customers' life easier. So that involves implementing a time and attendance solution, which we are going to do across all of our accounts, just to make sure staff are on site and we can be proactive if they're not. The second thing we're going to install is a help desk. So at the moment we're doing that via communication books, which is a little bit archaic. You know, it's reliant on the cleaner then remembering to put a note in there or whatever it may be. So I think a help desk would be ultra useful. We've got it all set up, to be honest, just something we haven't put in place yet. So we're going to get that in place. Our customers will be able to put requests on there, any issues, any particular points they need to make, you know, or if they've got a visit coming up or whatever it may be. Then we'll all get sight of that, and we can be proactive there. And then what he can do is the team in the office can do that. He doesn't have to call Don or call me or speak to the cleaner and then go and check it's been done. The team can do it, and then he can log on periodically, see what's happened, and go, oh, that ticket's been done, I know that. So yeah, that'll be useful, and it seemed to go down well there. Again, something we've had back of house, just haven't implemented. And as we get bigger and bigger contracts, I think that would be definitely a benefit for most customers. So I've got to go and meet another customer now. I've got to do some jetting work at their yard, their office for James. So I'm going to jump in the tanker and do that, and then that will wrap up the day. So it's about 11 o'clock now. I'll jump in the tanker, head down there, and then we'll finish that, and that will be it for Wednesday. Let's go. We've just arrived over at our next job. Lovely job, this one. Client of ours who I'm quite friendly with. Really nice guy, nice family actually. They have a farm over near Hever Castle, and they've got a drain that's playing up at the moment, so I said I'd come over here and give it a clear out for them. So just got here, just spoke to Gemma. She's told me which one it is, so we're going to get going. We're going to suck out some of the stuff that's in there first, and then we'll give it a jet out for the customer. So let's get rolling. I have just got back home from Tunbridge. The actual client I deal with, James, he's actually been on the channel. It was at our golf day. If you haven't watched that video, go back and see how much we raised for Demelza House. James come back, so I had a good catch up with him for about half an hour. That particular job is, it was difficult. I got it done in the end, and the water's flowing, but it could be better. I did tell James, it's their land. They got like a farm down near Hever Castle, lovely property. He said he's probably going to dig it up and just put it new there, because it's a flexi pipe, to be honest. But it was flowing a lot better, which is the main benefit of me going down there and jetting it out for him and cameraing it. And I managed to have a good catch up with him. I haven't seen him since well before Christmas, so that was good. Just had a call from another customer about some projects that they've got coming up and about some bits of maintenance. We are going to try be pushing a bit of maintenance this year. We've got the capability to do it. Me and James know lots of people that are in many different industries in the local area, so that just makes sense, to be fair. I've had a couple of conversations with customers about that. So the recording stuff that I needed for me and Adam to start our podcast has arrived. I am pleased to inform you guys. And it's interesting, I've had a few people DM me on different platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, saying I'd be interested as a guest. Me and Adam are still trying to come up with a name. Adam seems to like dwell time, so I play on dwell, which is obviously, you know, contact time for cleaning chemicals. And my name's got, you know, cleaning up a business, sort of, you know, cleaning up in business, you know, cleaning up as an acronym for, like, you know, smashing it, cleaning up. You know, I've cleaned up that particular job. So cleaning up in business, I like a play on that. So we'll argue that at our HQ tomorrow. But the recorder's here, so that means we can start putting down our podcast episode. I've got a couple of guests already that are relatively local, that are what I call quick wins. So I can get them down the office and get that done. Some of the other guests we're going to start to book in, but we're going to do a official release post next week in regards to that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what falls out of that. So that wraps up Wednesday. Tomorrow I've got a couple of client meetings in the morning. No drainage, touch wood. I actually not going to be able to do any drainage tomorrow. I have got so much going on at the moment, paperwork wise. I've got some tenders that I need to get through, and probably like most people with tenders, they tend to get left to the last minute, and then they could be a headache and they're rushed. So really want to try and get ahead of the game on these tenders that I've got. I've got 2 big ones, and I've just had some feedback on another tender we've done before Christmas, positive, saying we're in the running for that, but they've got a few questions of clarity. So I need to get some stuff back for that, and we've also got some drainage bits and pieces going on. Little update about the drainage van. You've seen me flying around in the tanker, which is not ideal because it's not fun to drive at all. I've had an interaction with Peugeot today, and it was positive news. They need me to give them some proof of some other bits and pieces, which I can provide them. And the manager, because I've had to escalate it to the manager, being a Karen, has said if I provide that information, it should go through on a warranty gesture of goodwill claim. They can't actually pinpoint what's wrong with this van because nothing's coming up on the computer that they plug in. So it could be anything basically, but it needs a new engine, which I'm not prepared to pay for. I would contribute slightly towards it, but I don't want to pay for a full one because it's 5 figures from Peugeot anyway. That was positive, so I'll have to jump on that tomorrow. I'm going to catch up with Adam. We'll see how we go for time. I did say we would go IKEA and maybe get a couple of chairs and bits and pieces for the office setup, and then Adam can enjoy himself and start putting that all together. So yeah, an interesting day. Looking forward to tomorrow, a day in the office and paperwork. So that wraps up Wednesday, guys. I will see you guys with Adam and the rest of the team tomorrow. Peace. Good morning, team JCD. It's Thursday. Time is a little bit late in the morning. It's 11 o'clock. Adam's behind me. We are starting to set up our podcast studio. We thought we'd got the wrong size in these acoustic sound thingy-majiggies, but they were vacuum packed. So Adam got it right. So well done to Adam. I've been to a contract meeting this morning already at one of our key accounts that's just around the corner. I was there at 8:30. Checked in with the manager, and I've also had 2 meetings there with different stakeholders. So I've also met with the procurement lead because we have a increase in the national minimum wage soon. We always try and increase our staff wages in line with that, even though they're paid above the national minimum wage, but obviously it's going up, so that narrows the gap between what they earn above the national minimum wage. So had a chat with procurement. We're going to put some costs together for that. And then also met with our operational lead. So busy site. We've got 10 full-time staff down there. So you're always going to have these little bits and pieces. So it's good to catch up with customers and just make sure everything's going as it should. Adam's joined me today. We are putting down a standalone video about us building our podcast studio. We are going to jump in the car now and head to the only place that we know where we can get cheap furniture, flat pack, and that is IKEA. So we're going to jump in the car, head up to Greenwich and see what we can find up there for our podcast setup. So let's jump in the car and head to the famous IKEA. So we've just made the short journey down the A2. We have just arrived in Greenwich, where we are at a local IKEA. Me and Adam have come here. We're going to try and find a couple of chairs for our guests and me, and then a nice table for our road podcast studio to go on. So we just got here. We're going to head inside and see what we can find. So what have we actually come up here to find today? Well, we are thinking on the lines of having 2 chairs. We've obviously got our soundproof boarding, which is in the office. So we're going to have 2 chairs, a small table for our podcaster, road podcaster studio to go on. maybe a rug and something to go on the table just to sort of set the scene a little bit. Obviously we're going to have some lighting as well. So yeah, we're just having a look around, just looking at chairs at the moment, as you can see behind me. So we've seen one we like already. So I'll get Adam to come and have a look at this. He's filming some other stuff at the moment for a standalone video we're going to do about what kit we're going to use, because I do have people ask me some of the kit we use to do our videos and things like that. So we're going to do what kit we're using, cameras, microphones, podcast studio stuff, and we'll detail all that stuff we've bought, and we'll put that up on our channel for you guys to have a look at. So keep an eye out for that one. So let's continue having a look around and get our stuff. So we've got all of our stuff now. Chairs are out of stock, which was a pain in the backside. But we've got a table and a few other bits that we need. So we're going to put it all in the car, and then we're going to get back to JCD HQ and start putting it all together. Me and Adam are down at JCD HQ. It's about 4:30 now. We're going to have to get off soon, otherwise it's going to take us 3 days to get off our business estate as the traffic is crazy. We didn't manage to get some chairs at IKEA. Not sure if I mentioned that earlier. So we've come back, we've set up the studio. It's behind me. Obviously it's not finished. We're going to get some brown chairs to match the furniture, and then we're going to also do a talk through of some of the kit that we've got that we're recording our podcast with. But it looks great. I think it'll look brilliant when we get some chairs in. We've just got to fill in some of the holes because Adam made some holes there. My side's perfect, as you can see. So that's going to wrap up Thursday. Is it Thursday? It is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. I have a drainage job back at Medway Park. I've got to finish up some bits there, do some jetting. Shouldn't take me more than a couple of hours tomorrow. So I'm going to head and do that first thing in the morning. And then me and Adam are going to catch up and finish our video and tell you guys some of the kit that we're going to be using for our podcast. So an interesting day, mixed day, plenty going on. I'll catch you guys in the morning. As always, don't be late. What is happening, guys? Friday we are down at JCD HQ. I have been out to a drainage job at Medway Park this morning. Didn't take us too long there. We jetted out the lines. I had a couple of guys helping me, which made things extra helpful because we managed to just get through the job a bit quicker. So that is all done now. That drain is all flowing and that pit is nice and clean, ready for the customer. They're going to decide what they're going to do with that piece that has concrete in it, but all the bits we can get to and that are easily fixed are now fixed. Me and Adam have been down at HQ this morning. As you can see, he's still behind me setting up, and we have been shooting our video from yesterday, carrying on with our podcast studio setup. Now, apart from the chairs, we are pretty much there. It looks good. We've done all the lighting and all the framing. So keep an eye out for that video. We've got a list of around 50 guests that we want to invite on, and they're a mix of people from the cleaning industry, you know, high up within the industry, business owners, people that work in different aspects of business, so marketing, SEO, all sorts of stuff. And we're hoping to get them all on and give you guys some real interesting stories to take away and hopefully use in your business or inspire you to start your own business. So I'm really looking forward to getting that started. And that will be the first week of March. We're going to release our first episode, and then we're going to look to do that on a bi-weekly basis for the rest of the year. That is the plan. And hopefully our list of 50 guests, obviously some of them are probably not going to be comfortable or not want to come on, fingers crossed, you know, most do, but that should be plenty enough to see us through to 2024. We're really looking forward to getting this going. Some we're going to do at JCD HQ in our studio, others we're going to go on the road. We're going to go to them. We're not going to be doing that Zoom split screen that you see some people to do. I know sometimes that needs to happen because, you know, diaries don't tie up, but we really want to try and do this properly and make it as visually and audio pleasing as possible. I'm down here for the rest of the day. Seem to have a problem at the moment. I'm back covering the school. I was like doing this last week, Friday. Staff didn't want to come in, but we have actually just gave some of our customers a price increase. Some of our contracts that we struggle to recruit for, we took the decision this year because the national minimum wage is going up, that we're going to, in those instances where we need to, some of the customers are going to have to suffer a price increase. Now, that's a business decision we've made, because if you take my time, Sharon's time, James's time, whoever's going out to cover it, their time is a lot more expensive than, I know we're a family business and sometimes we see it as, oh, well, you know, it's my time, it's free. It's not free. In fact, our time costs more than anyone else's. We have taken the decision that some of our customers, we're going to have to give a price increase, bigger than usual. Some of them have come back to me already and said, look, I understand and okay. Some of them have said, okay, you've been with us 2-3 years now, we're going to go out to market and bench test, which I'm more than comfortable for these customers to do so, because I know everybody is in the same predicament as me. So yeah. You know, sometimes you've got to make these business decisions. There's no point of having contracts that are, one, costing you money, or two, you know, you can't resource for, and they're a real pain in the backside. It's just, you're going to lose focus on that contract. If you're not making any money off a contract, it's not going to be top of your priorities, and that's what we don't want. You know, we want all of our contracts to be making us money so that we value them and that we can put the effort in and give them the effort that they deserve. Adam's packing up now. We finished that video. I'm going to be spending the rest of the afternoon down the office, and then around 3 o'clock I'm going to head over to this school I need to cover. I've got some bits of admin I need to do as well. I've got a couple of checks to pay in, so I'll run and do that before I head over there. But I'll take you guys with me and show you what goes on over there. We are over now at one of our school properties. As I say, I've had to come over here this evening, give the guys a hand, just make sure everything's okay. Because the cleaner, unfortunately, has had to go to a funeral. So I jumped over here, say, keep it clean. What's the time? Clock around. Time is 6:15. So nice finish now. That's it for this week. Next week, Monday, we have got, take these earphones up, we've got a big tender walk around Monday. I'm not going to have much footage for you guys on that particular day, because it's a confidential tender for a large contract down in the southeast. It's an all-day thing, 9 till 4, I believe. So yeah, long day. I haven't been on a tender like this for a while. We chose not to do them because they are, one, they're very time consuming. Two, some of them are heavily price focused. This one is not. And I know on this one, I did ask the buyer, who I've had a couple of chats with now, how many contractors have you got going for this? And his answer was 9. You know, so they've got 9 other people quoting. You know, what really separates 9 cleaning companies? I mean, yeah, sure, you know, some might be very sustainable, some will use the latest pieces of kit, etc. But really, you know, there's not too, I don't think. And this is something I'm looking forward to doing the podcast, to be honest. Just understanding a little bit more. All right, so what makes your cleaning company different to Joe's down the road? And it'd be interesting to sort of collaborate what that is, because I don't see a lot in it, to be honest, excluding cost. It's always interesting, but we're going to try and do a few of them next year. You've got to be in it to win it, you know. Think big. They're time consuming, but, you know, we're going to put a bit of effort into them this year and see how we do. Looking forward to getting the podcast going. We've got the studio set up, ordered some chairs this afternoon, managed to find some good ones as well. Dark grey wood, which I wanted, with a grey insert panel. I'm going to try, I'm talking to Adam, we was talking to Adam today, I'm not happy with the panels that are on the wall, I'm going to change them. A little bit fussy, I know, but I just want it to be perfect. I like it to look perfect, and although it looks the bollocks, I think it could be better. So Adam's going to keep a lookout for that. Hopefully the chairs will be here tomorrow, so we'll be able to do a first podcast next week. The first one is going to be me, on my own. A little bit about me. Might bore some people to tears, but hey, who knows? So the first one will be me, and then we're going to start inviting guests as of next week. So and then hopefully we'll get plenty booked in for February. So that wraps up this week, guys. Another episode. Really enjoying doing these episodes. Glad we've been consistent with them, which is half the battle. So as with anything, you know, being consistent and making sure you're turning up and releasing something every Friday. It's good. It's part of the routine now. We all know what's going on, and we've got our ad hoc videos, and then we'll obviously have our podcasts, and so we're content rich, which is good. So like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next week.